Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into a report that has a bit of a surprise. Let's just say someone got a big promotion and someone else got a golden parachute. This report is about a company called Heritage Financial Corporation. Basically, they just announced some big changes at the top. The CEO is retiring, a new CEO is taking over, and that new CEO is also joining the board of directors. We are going to break down what it all means, especially for the money side of things. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where you can discuss more about it. So the date to keep in mind here is May 5, 2025. That's when all this went down. It's important to keep an eye on the dates because it tells us when these changes actually happened. Okay, let's get into the main event, the changing of the guard. Jeffrey Dewell, the old CEO, is stepping down. He's been the CEO since 2019, but he's not totally gone. He's going to stick around as an employee until March of 2027 to help with the transition. Taking his place is Brian McDonald. He's been with the company for a while, most recently as the president of Heritage and the president and CEO of Heritage Bank since July of last year. So he is familiar with how the company works now. He's taking over the whole show as the main CEO of everything from May of this year. And it's not just a CEO job. Brian is also getting a seat at the table. He's being added to the board of directors, both for Heritage Financial and Heritage Bank. Big changes like this always mean new contracts and agreements. Heritage made a new employment agreement with Brian McDonald to seal the deal. Let's check out some highlights. First, the money. Brian McDonald will start with a base salary of $650,000 per year. That's a lot of money, but it's also what you expect for someone running a company this size. Starting next year, they might give him a raise if he is doing a good job. Besides the salary, he can also get bonuses based on how well the company performs. The target is set at 50% of his salary. That means he could potentially earn an extra $325,000 if everything goes according to plan. Also, they are giving him a car or a car allowance to use for work. What happens if things don't work out? The agreement also covers severance, which is what he gets paid if he leaves. If Heritage fires him without a good reason, or if he quits for a good reason, which they call a termination, he gets a payout equal to 150% of his salary plus the average of his last 3 years of bonuses. This severance will be paid in 24 monthly payments. If there is a big change in control, like if the company gets sold and he gets terminated because of it, he gets even more. In that case, he gets a lump sum payment equal to 250% of his salary plus bonuses. Also, if he gets terminated, he and his family get to keep their health insurance for 18 months. There's also a clause in the contract about what they call a golden parachute payment. This basically means they're trying to avoid paying so much money that it gets hit with special taxes. They'll cut back his severance pay if it means he'll end up with more money after taxes. Of course, there are some rules he has to follow. Even after he leaves, he can't go around blabbing about the company's secrets, and he can't go work for a competitor or try to steal Heritage's employees or customers. These rules last for 18 months after he leaves, unless he leaves because of a change in control, in which case it's only 12 months. Alright, let's switch gears and talk about the shareholder meeting they had. This is where the people who own the company get to vote on important things. The annual meeting happened on May 5, same date as the CEO change. A good amount of the shares were represented at the meeting, over 28 million. That means they had enough people there to make decisions. First thing they voted on was electing the board of directors. The shareholders voted to approve all the people that were nominated, so everything remains as is. Next up was a vote on how much the top executives get paid. This vote doesn't force the company to do anything, it is just an advisory vote, but it's a way for shareholders to say whether they think the executives are getting paid fairly. Most of the shareholders voted in favor of the compensation, so they seem to be happy with how the executives are being paid. Finally, they voted to approve Crowell as the company's accounting firm for this year. This is pretty standard stuff, making sure the company has a good accounting firm to keep track of the money. The shareholders approved this too, so Crow LLP is in. To make sure everyone knows what's going on, Heritage put out a press release about the CEO change. They're trying to be open and transparent with the public. Now, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Heritage Financial is making a big bet on Brian McDonald. They're giving him a lot of responsibility and a lot of money to run the company. The shareholders seem to be on board with the direction of the company. One thing to keep in mind is that CEO transitions can be risky. It takes time for a new CEO to get settled in and put their stamp on things. There is also the risk that the old CEO leaving could cause some disruption. However, they made sure to have him stay during the transition, so it won't be the case. Looking ahead, Heritage needs to keep an eye on the changing banking landscape. Interest rates are rising and the economy is uncertain. They'll need a strong leader at the helm to navigate these challenges. Alright, that's our breakdown of Heritage Financial's leadership shuffle. What's your take on these changes and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps. And subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.